Alright, Hiboy P6 e-bike review. I've been riding this bike for about 3 weeks now, mostly using it as a commuter bike, a little bit of trails. So I'm finally getting around to doing some filming review on this, as they asked me to do. So I'm gonna hit a little bit of just roads and down on some trails, let you know what I think of it. So they kind of market this as maybe a bit of a gravel bike, and smooth trails like this, it's great. This has front forks, hardtail, no rear suspension. I pretty much ride this thing like a motorcycle. I don't pedal it a lot, to be honest. It's just more fun. But I'm really impressed with the speed of this bike. Flat ground, full throttle, you can get up to just over 45 kilometers an hour, which is pretty impressive. My work commute on the way home is all uphill. In my truck, it takes me about 15 minutes, and on this bike I can do it in 11 because I can take an overpass. It cuts out a couple blocks and I don't really have to wait for traffic. So that's really cool. I've been enjoying riding it to work in the mornings. You can see my speed here, about 45 kilometers an hour, just over. On the bigger hills, you do have to pedal a bit. The throttle won't do it all for you. I'll show you that on the way back home. Go down into some trails a little bit. The brakes on this bike work excellent, but as you can hear, they are kind of noisy. They've gotten a little better since I got it, but they do make a lot of noise. And I find they're wearing out quite quickly. So this bike is a hub-driven motor. It's quite powerful as far as e-bikes go. It does make the back end pretty heavy with the motor in the hub. Overall, I wouldn't say this is a bike you would want for trail riding. Smooth stuff like this is excellent, but if you're actually going to try and do single track or anything, it's a pretty rough ride. Even speed bumps and stuff like that is pretty jarring on this bike. Stuff like this, a little bump here. It's a rough ride on this bike, to be honest. So you can pedal it to about 30 kilometers an hour with the pedal assist, and then it really doesn't do anything. It's all throttle. Pedal assist goes from 1 to 5. I pretty much just keep it on 1. because like I said, I just ride it like a motorcycle. So battery life when you're pedaling can be pretty good, but the way I ride it, the battery does die pretty quickly. I can get 2 commutes to work, so about 25 kilometers, and then I need to charge it at the end of the second day. But that is going up a lot of hills, working the motor about as hard as you can. So it does have a pretty good headlight and a horn. Kind of funny. So yeah, heavy bike to lug over stuff like that. So fat tire bike is actually the first fat tire bicycle I've owned. I was thinking it would give it a pretty smooth ride, but it's still not that smooth when you're on bumpy stuff. Some of the components, like I said, the brakes worked really well. The pedals, you can see the pedals are really cheap. The chain as well is really small, but this is kind of an entry-level kind of bike, I guess. It's not super expensive, and for commuting, I'm really enjoying it. It's a little cooler in the mornings now. We're getting to the end of summer, so it's really nice to go to work in the morning on this. Saving money on gas every day is a good thing. So this is a big hill that I go up on my way home from work, and this is where you do have to help the bike. You have to pedal, but the effort required to go up this hill pedaling with the motor is, I'd say, about the equivalent of pedaling a normal bike on flat ground. So pretty easy. You can still, I'm still going 27 kilometers an hour up a fairly steep hill. Anyone that likes to pedal bikes and has bad knees will appreciate the pedal assist. I tore my MCL a few years back, so something that never quite fully heals. So riding up stuff like that without assistance can be hard. So this pedestrian overpass is what allows me to get home quicker from work on the e-bike than I can driving. So overall, for an entry-level e-bike, I definitely recommend this one. I've been really enjoying the commutes to work rather than being on the road to traffic. I'm in stuff like this, which is a lot more enjoyable and peaceful. So I'm glad I've got this bike and take advantage of the commute as long as I can with the weather. I'll leave a link to the product website in the description of this video if you're interested in checking it out. Other than that, thanks for watching.